What's up, guys? Jason here at the Players Club in Burbank, California. Today talking to you about scales, and I wanted to first start off by defining what a scale is. Let's really unpack that and think about that for a second. So it's a term that gets thrown around very easily in the music world, and for a beginner or even an intermediate player, you might not have put the time in to really conceptualize what a scale actually means and how you would apply it. We're told, oh, we need to learn our scales. Well, yes and no. I mean, yes, if you're actually going to use them. If you just want to be a chord player, play strum and just campfire stuff, you don't need to practice scales. Just practice your chords. If you want to be a soloist, then yeah, you do need to practice your scales. But what is a scale? It's a collection of notes that work well together. Bottom line, that's it. So you can think of it, I always use the metaphor of a house. So let's say we have the house and we call the house C. And inside the house lives the D, the E, the F, the G, the A, and the B. They're all relatives. They're all living inside of the same house, the house of C. So it's a collection of notes that work well together, unless your family doesn't work well together. We'd call that diminished. But that's what it is. So we just happen to map it out on guitar in patterns, and the patterns make it easy for us to remember where they go, right? So for example, the key of C, in the open position you have C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. But there are several other ways to play that scale, and you can mix and match. Because at the end of the day, it's just a collection of notes that work well together. So if you play the notes C, D, E, F, G, A, B, anywhere on the fretboard, that's a scale. It just doesn't have to be in a pattern. So you want to get out of that pattern thinking so much and really understand the concept of playing notes that work well together. And you can modify those notes, and we call that modes, okay, modal play. And that's just taking a scale and altering it a little bit. So to start off with, how do you learn scales? I think getting the patterns down, at least to use as a warm-up exercise and as a starting point, is probably a really good way to go. And then you can branch off on learning all the notes on the fretboard and creating your own scales. So what I would suggest is to learn the first position, C major, and that's it. Only learn the first position, C major, until you've got it really down where you're at a point where you really understand what the purpose is of this scale. So you practice soloing with it. So let's take a look. We're going to have the 3rd fret A string, the open D, the 2nd fret D, the 3rd fret D, open G, 2nd fret G, open B, 1st fret B, 3rd fret B, open E, 1st fret E, 3rd fret E, 5th fret, 7th fret, and 8th fret E. You can rewind the video and watch that as many times as you need. So this is the root, the 2, the 3, the 4, the 5, the 6, the 7, the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, the 5, 6, 7, 1. Use that as a warm-up exercise. Play that collection of notes and call out the names C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, and so on as you play through it. So that's a good way to start memorizing the fretboard. And then go back and do it again, but call out the degrees like I just did. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Because when you get into soloing, it's really just about finding your landing notes, knowing that, okay, I can resolve to a 5 here, or I can resolve to a 1 here, and that'll always sound good. But before you even get into that stuff, just do it. Just go through the process of getting the names down and the degrees down as part of your exercise, and in time it will make sense. But really what we need to know is that it's just a collection of notes that sound great together. So once you got the pattern down, you generally have the degrees down, put on a backing track and just start soloing. So maybe you do a little. So I just went through the scale, but I did it musically, right? So put a backing track on. There's, can't even tell you how many here on YouTube. C major backing track, that's all you would type in. Play that scale, but do it in a way that you're comfortable with, that gives it a little bit of pop. This way you start to understand that a scale is a collection of notes that work well together that we just happen to put into patterns. And if you memorize the patterns, you start to unlock the fretboard, and then you can create your own scales. You can run the scale all the way up and back this way just using the notes that work well together. So hopefully this clarifies a little bit what a scale is. And if you'd like to see a whole series of videos on scales and how to use them, just, do me a favor, leave a note in the comments and I'll read them. And if you're a new subscriber, please go ahead and click subscribe. If you are an existing subscriber and you haven't joined our newsletter, well, please join. The link's in the description box. You could win a guitar hoodie. You could win a free lesson with me online, or if you're in Southern California, in person. And you'll know when I'm putting out new videos, and I'm always doing surveys and cool things to just make sure that you guys are getting great content. All right, thanks for watching. Leave me some comments. See you soon.